Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and I'm here to talk about a really cool retro horror game called Majyuō that came out all the way back on the Super Famicom. It actually came out recently on the Super Nintendo about a year or two ago. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to actually just talk about the game, show out its highlights and everything, a bit more of an essay. And then if you want to see an actual, mostly unedited playthrough, that's going to be in the latter half of the video. So before we get into things proper, a quick backstory for this game. Majyuō, called King of Demons in English, was a Super Famicom game released in 1995. I believe there might have been some interest at the time for this game to come to the West, but it never happened. And even in Japan, this game is exceedingly rare. It's one of the rarest Super Famicom games out there. And because it has that weird combo of rarity and quality, and a fairly distinct kind of style, this leads to some crazy prices on the aftermarket, with at times only one of these copies ever being for sale within a year, pretty much. So because of that, the physical copy of the game was fairly difficult to get, especially if you lived in the West, but Retrobit did do a reproduction, an official reprint, making it the first official US release of this game many, many years later. And there was also, I believe, an official Japanese reprint, but both reprints are weirdly pricey on their own, and the original one is still commanding its original value. Now, what made this game special, and probably what drew a lot of people's attention to it, was this game is essentially what I describe as a unofficial kind of tribute to manga and anime like Devilman, probably mostly Devilman, where your premise is demons are taking over the world, and our protag must absorb and transform into a demon himself to fight back against these demons. And there's a lot of tragedy involved, so, like I said, a lot like Devilman. But if you've never seen the original Devilman anime adaptations or read the manga, you probably know it more from Devilman Crybaby, the recent adaptation on Netflix, which was a very good take on. I recommend that anime 100%, but I also recommend the manga quite a bit. And fun fact, my avatar here for this channel is inspired by the protag of Devilman, along with the protagonist of Robo. But from that, if you can't tell, I'm a big fan of Devilman, and that's kind of what drew me to this game about 10 or so years ago. And I think this game is pretty special. I don't feel like it should have been as buried and niche as it became. And in fact, I actually do have a physical copy of the game. I also have the reproduction released by Retrobit. But the original Super Famicom version, the box is really cool. It's got some great art on the front, and it's got a really unique background on the back of the box, where you see like a cool, looks like almost like maybe a cosplayer or actor kind of silhouetted, looking very demonic on the background, staying on top of a bunch of TVs, and rather than have normal screenshots just kind of littering the background like most of these boxes do, they actually put the screenshots of the game within the CRTs. So it gets this very kind of commanding kind of draw to when you look at the back of the box art if you came across this during a store or something, where it's like saying, "Hey you want to be a demon? Check out this cool game." But once again, that whole aesthetic of this game really drew me in. It holds a special place in my heart, despite me not actually growing up with this game at all. And if you're curious, some quick information on this developer here. The developer was KSS. This is really the only notable game they ever made. They made a bunch of other kind of property adaptation games and licensed stuff. They worked with a lot of anime studios on some animes around that era. And they also, funny enough, made a lot of hentai. But yeah, let's get into the actual game here. Just a quick note that this footage is going to be a mixture of freshly recorded footage with no commentary and commentated footage from my Twitch recording of when I played this game a while ago. So the first stage of the game starts with a very cold start. You can see the ruins of various cities in the background. And for the most part, you really don't know what's going on. You're just kind of dropped in, you're a big muscly guy in a suit, you got a cool headband, it's kind of like a Belmont kind of character, and you're armed with a simple pistol. And right off the bat, you encounter your first kind of boss, your first demon, and you find out the beginnings of what this story actually is. Abel, it's been a while. It's me, your good old friend, Bear. Bear, you sold your soul to the demons, didn't you? Where are Maria and Iria? Rejoice, they are very useful in the revival of the King of Demons. You bastard! Fear not, I shall send you to meet them. Die! You're getting sloppy, Papa. How could you let a guy like that beat you? Get up, Abel. You're better than that. I know you are. Go on and fight. Yeah, fight, Papa. My Papa's the strongest fighter in the world. Please get up, Abel. You can do it, Papa. But as you see, you get revived, and you, with the power of your family's love, which now gives you the power to be able to shoot and actually hurt demons. So if you try to shoot this guy before that, essentially those bullets just blink off his armor. Abel, forgive me. I couldn't protect Iria, but she's still alive. I'm going with you. Please, we have to hurry. And there's a cool section that comes up right here, where the spirit of your wife actually talks to you, gives you the main motive of the whole plot, where you have to go and find your daughter who's been captured by all these demons. And a cool thing these developers did was they turned your wife into not just a story plot and motivational mover, but she actually is a minor game mechanic, where as long as you have your wife, you essentially have an extra one-up that will revive you on the spot. But if at any point you die, you lose that one-up, and then if you go game over after that, you don't get it back on revival. Although you can find your wife in random spots in the game, she's extremely rare. There might be only like 2 or 3 of them in the entire game. But the developers did a good job of kind of merging it, like I said, a story aspect with a gameplay aspect, and you also kind of gives you incentive, like obviously you don't want to see your wife die. This is like the last remnant of her, the spirit that watches over you. While also being kind of like a self-challenge, where like, alright, I don't want to waste this life, I want to see if I can get through the level without losing my wife, in so many words. Another thing to note is, there is a bit of story in the manual. It's not much, but it does kind of mention how Bayer or whatever, he is supposed to be your friend, but he entered some cult and revived Lucifer. The game and story is a bit vague whether or not this whole demon apocalypse has been occurring for a while, and maybe these are like the last remnants of humanity, or this has always been a normal thing, or maybe this is happening overnight and the demons are just moving that rapidly conquering. Now, as I go for this game, I'm really only going to show like highlights and cool parts of these stages. But the first stage I think is just so cool, and like there's a lot of details going on here, and this is where the really strength of the game comes from, is the level design. Because the main sprites are kind of very simple and small, but you can see in the first level there's a lot of details that kind of go on that makes it stand out. Like we transition from being chased by a giant worm and falling to the floor into like what is essentially a sewers levels. There's all sorts of demons and enemies here. There's zombies. When you shoot the zombies, their heads come off. If you look at the background, there's cells full of people probably being tortured or even like have already long run away. There's hanging corpses. There's women who look like they are not fully dressed anymore with large ballistics. And then there's people here with guns who are probably demon-possessed or maybe like zombies. So you get the implication of like, yeah, this world's really doomed. There's no story telling you this outright. You just can kind of see it in the stage, like right here for this whole level. So I think that this kind of shows the developers really actually did think about this. And the later levels are pretty cool environment-wise, but I think the first level, and this is the level you're going to see almost the entirety of, or most of it anyway, is just so well-paced and so well-designed that it's a really good opener that kind of like hooks you into the game. And you start this game being only able to shoot the gun, and you also have your like Street Fighter Hadokens kind of moves. But as we go for the stage, you'll see at the end, that quickly changes, although it's completely optional. But the game does highly encourage you to take advantage of its mechanic that will be introduced later here after the boss. So one thing that you might have noticed as we went through, this game has a lot of mini-bosses. That's kind of a big gameplay loop of this game, that it focuses heavily on mini-bosses. But at some point you'll eventually reach a stage and you'll fight like an actual boss. The first boss, which is the Harpy. And after you beat the Harpy, you see the main game mechanic of what makes this game kind of stand out. I've heard it kind of compared to Altered Beast a little bit. But whenever you beat a main boss, they'll drop a crystal, it switches between colors, and each one turns you into a different demonic form for the next stage. So you could fairly ignore these and try to go for the game as just, you know, normal dad man with his gun. It's extremely difficult. I've never been able to do it. the game is just kind of not really designed with you being the dad man, because you're just not as mobile, and you just really cannot aim at the enemies very well. So I'm going to pause for a bit to thank today's sponsor Raycon for helping march this video out this March. And if you don't know what that is, Raycon is a affordable and stylish everyday earbud that's designed with comfortability in mind. So say you're at the gym, they do not fall out that easily. They also have active noise cancellation, helping filter out noise from your pets when you're jamming, like the bark of a dog or a meow of a cat, meow. Or even in my case, drowning out the noise of your neighbors when you need to edit on a flight or on the go. They're also weatherproof, sweat resistant. They have a up to 32-hour battery life for when you want to keep those things in, listening to music and admiring your large collection of anime figures. And they are stylish, they come in a range of colors, and they also have custom little cases you can have. And if you have any hesitations about the earbuds, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. So if you're interested, go to buyraycon.com/manly to get 20% off the best-selling everyday earbuds brought to you by Raycon. But each color crystal gives you a different form. The red form gives you the heartbeat powers. The green form gives you what I'm just going to call the Alrune powers, which is a boss you'll see later. And the blue form gives you the dragon powers. So you can pick any of these forms, but there is a semi-canon kind of way the game tries to push you, game design-wise, where each form is obviously linked to a boss, both in color coding and also just the powers you get kind of emulate what the boss used to attack you with. And if you choose those kind of canon forms for the next stage, they are kind of built around the difficulties and challenges of that stage. You'll probably have a little bit of an easier time. There's also another little mechanic to the whole power shifting thing, which I'll go into later. So going for this actual stage, you already noticed probably that this whole area is plant themed. It's once again got the green color coding. But you really get to see more of the cool stuff that developers were doing here with the sprite work and the kind of subtle storytelling that stands out in this kind of era of like retro gaming, where you can see in the background there's more of those ruined cities, everything's overgrown. It's just almost like this whole area's been converted into like another level of hell. You know, if there was like a plant floor or something. This whole thing kind of leads me to believe the former fear I had, where this world's already been through its post-apocalypse. The demons have essentially taken over, and there's probably like little groups of humans that have just survived. Which also would explain how the main character's friend suddenly started a cult. He most likely aligned with the demons at some point and thought this was the only way to survive, to embrace the demonic aspect, and just completely forgo his humanity and revive Lucifer, because that's a smart idea. Throughout this stage, you might discover a kind of hidden mechanic that's not ever told to you in the game at all, where if as long as you're playing any of the demonic forms, you have a secret mechanic where you can actually eat the corpses of enemies to regain health. You cannot do this when you're the dad, you can't be a demonic cannibal. But one thing you've probably seen is that most of the enemies, if not almost all of them, do not leave corpses behind. They usually just explode in like a big explosion of fire. So the most common enemy that leaves the corpses behind are these women-type enemies. And I believe this might have been an intentional, subtle thing where they obviously resemble your dead spirit wife that you can collect within the game that sometimes follows you. So I think the developers wanted to give you a sense of, it's very subtle, it's obviously hard to see within the sprite work because it's so small, but it's almost like you're consuming your wife over and over again, or at least a clone of her, to extend your health, because these stages are very long. So you need to take advantage of this mechanic, because you'll most likely at some point get hit. So we get a bit of like an emulation where our main character mirrors his friend that betrayed him by embracing his demonic side, just like he did, to get power and accomplish what he wants. So here's the second major boss. I believe the bosses don't have any official names, aside from a few notable like story-based ones. But I just call this boss Alrune. Obviously that's what she's designed after. You really want to do that attack, don't you?
Oh, he went for the upper one, right? Because I was mid-jump. Oh, God. That didn't do much damage, though. I'm fine. Can this reach? It can? It's hard doing damage with this form. It's got more range, but... Oh, God. That one hurt. Woo-wee! Woo! Woo, look at that timer. And when you beat this boss, you're kind of heavily encouraged to switch to the green power. And this essentially gives you a similar power to hers where you are very laser focused. You're a little bit less mobile, you have a teleport. And it gives you a very narrow shot, but in this upcoming stage, that narrow shot is actually relatively useful. The next stage is kind of your iconic style Super Nintendo era platformer stage. A lot of games from this era always had a train stage, and this is no exception. There are a few twists to it though. Once again, going back to the level design and just that background, you can kind of see some more of that subtle, cool storytelling. We see an entire field of crosses, but if you actually pay attention, which is sometimes hard to do in the midst of gameplay, you can see that the crosses are people being crucified. So it's just thousands and thousands and thousands, or maybe millions of people just crucified that the demons have just essentially put up just for decorating the outer rings of their fortress here. Aside from that, this is a very straightforward kind of level. There is this kind of skeleton theme in the enemies, that's about it. But for the most part, there's nothing too special till you get about to the end, till you see this cool scene here. They're attacking that poor woman! That kind of reinforces, yeah, by today's standard, this is not that scary, but at the time, this was actually basically a horror game. So I tried to recorrect and go back. I think I have to. Okay, I was right. Never mind, I was supposed to commit. So after beating that boss, you cut straight to the next level, and that train goes crashing into the demonic fortress. And this is the only boss in the game that does not give you any demonic crystal to transform. It just cuts straight to the next stage, which is what I assume essentially a castle made of ice, or crystal that's been given to Bear for essentially helping the demonic lord revive. While it's less apocalyptic than the previous stages, there's less of that horror vibe. It's just a kind of very cool, I describe it almost Castlevania-like stage. And Bear himself kind of like taunts you here and there throughout the stage. He's definitely upset that you were able to beat him back with just a pistol at the start, and he's come back for round 2, or round 3 or 4, or how many times he ever challenges you. So what you're seeing here is what I consider the highlight of this stage, and this was a certain thing that was happening in a lot of video games at the time. And I'm not sure if it's ever been labeled, but I like to call this Crushing Tooth Monster. And there was a lot of games in this era that had crushing teeth monsters, or like you playing through giant gnashing jaws. And I'm not sure who started it. It might have been a shoot 'em up actually. But it adds kind of like a nice contrast to the stage. It's completely colored differently than the rest of the thing. It's obviously much more fleshy and organic. But there is a detail that you can see that this is being affected by the cold of the area, or these crystals or whatever, where there's crystals or ice attached to its underside, which is a detail, once again, that they didn't have to do. They could have just had a giant fleshy teeth monster sprite here, but they still themed it to the area. So here's the big rematch of Bear. We're both demons this time, so clearly he's completely outmatched if he lost to us when we had a pistol. But he gets a funny power-up, and I can only describe it as he essentially gets a giant crystallized version of your wife to power him up, and then throws it at you. And for whatever reason, this turns him into a Godzilla monster. Like, this is clearly a Godzilla opponent, foe, inspired creature. I think it might be kind of inspired by Space Godzilla, who also had the giant crystals on his shoulder.
I need to jump far enough away. I was wondering if I could... Okay. I'm trying to debate if I can walk out of its range. That timer is really running low. Whoo-wee. But if you beat him, you can get the final power-up. Once again, I chose the blue power-up here, turning into the dragon, because you just beat a dragon. Obviously, the game wants you to become a dragon, which is going to be helpful for the next stage. So the next stage is the Archfiend's Fortress. This stage is, of all the stages, I think this one's one of the more plain ones. It's not that the sprite design itself is plain, it's just, this is essentially a fiery lava stage, which is essentially in almost every single Super Nintendo platform at the time. But I think the developers just wanted to put a more traditional hell kind of like imagery. I mean, you've been fighting demons. And if we go on the implied canon order of transformations, it's also kind of fitting that you take a dragon power into the fiery stage. In fact, there's even like dragons you fight within this stage, and there's dragon corpses and bones here and there. The main boss of this stage is the Archfiend himself. He's a really cool design. He looks basically like what you would expect the last boss to look like, but this is not the last boss nor the last stage. Also, there was a little cool thing about his design. It's a very blinky emissive thing. Even I didn't notice when I actually played the game. I only saw this when I was doing my editing. Is that I think there's a theme throughout the game of the demons taunting you with, once again, demons that look kind of like your wife. Bear literally throwing giant crystallite versions of your wife at you. And the Archfiend himself essentially being supported what looks like by a circle of petrified women or women statues, or maybe the souls of women, I'm not sure. It's just kind of like a cool detail, like once again reinforcing these demons really want to remind you of your dead wife and captured daughter. Whew! But if you do beat him, and you've played the game like how I've been playing the game, his design does foreshadow the big secret of the entire game, and an important actual story element. So, if you've been playing and changing your power every time you beat a boss, you get to unlock the secret of the entire game, and this secret actually determines what ending you'll get, which I'll go over later. But fitting enough for being an Archfiend, you essentially unlock the secret Archfiend power, and the Archfiend is completely overpowered. It's what you expect from a secret power that you can unlock in the game. You only get this by switching your power every stage, and there is another kind of secret power, that is if you choose the same power every stage, you can get an upgraded form of one of the initial forms. But to get the good ending of the game, you need to get the Archfiend power. The upgraded super form of the default powers is just going to lead you straight to the bad ending. So, final stage, and like every good platformer game, your climax of your game basically puts you into a flesh level. Japanese game developers really like their flesh levels, they like their internal organ kind of stages. And the other thing they liked was boss rushes. So there's a few of your enemies here that look kind of like your wife to help you restore health between bosses, but this entire stage is just a series
of you fighting every mini-boss in the game. And if you've got the Archfiend power, these mini-bosses are pushovers. You completely dominate them, just blow through them. They were not designed with you having these abilities. But I also think that's kind of a cool thing. It gives you a chance to kind of flex on these things, showing you how much stronger you've actually become. So, while I'm not a big fan of mini-boss rushes towards the end of the game, I think they're kind of filler, I really tolerate this one just because of the context of you getting the new power. And after beating all those mini-bosses, you get to the final boss of the game, the King of Demons himself.
Welcome, Abel. I'm impressed by your progress. So you're the resurrected demon? Yes. I am the King of Demons. Damn you! What have you done with my daughter? Ah, yes. Your daughter was so cute. Was. Don't play games with me. Let Aria go. You want to see her. I see. Very well. I will allow it. I shall grant you your final request, and then you will die, Abel.
So, remember when I mentioned that this whole game seems to want to taunt the protagonist when it comes to his wife and kid? Well, this boss completely cements that idea by having your daughter literally trapped in the forehead of the Demon King. Once you like take out the horns, it literally can't do anything to you. The boss after this is kind of like, Christ, the super attack wiped it out. So after what is essentially a very easy fight, if you have the Archfiend power anyway, the Demon King lays dead. But that theme of the main character suffering rears its head again quite literally, as the Demon King gets to play one last cruel joke on our Super Dad, revealing the true final boss of the game, not being the Demon King himself, but being your own daughter, who's been cruelly twisted and merged with her pet cat, transforming her into a feline demon, or basically a cat girl. Yeah, we don't want to be hit by that. The homing attack is gonna be far away. Oh. Dang, you followed me up on that? It was like a fighting game. Holy crap. Go weiter!
Papa. And Rhea. Let's go. Together, we can heal the world. We'll make it a place where both humans and demons can live. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. And so shall I become the King of Demons.
And that's our true ending of the game. The Demon King defeated, a dad reunited with his daughter, but both forever changed, with our protagonist vowing to become, like the title of the game, the King of Demons, with the plan to use his new power and form to hopefully carve out a peaceful world, where, like he says, where demons and humans will coexist. Now, if you didn't get the true demon Archfiend form for this final boss, you will actually get a bad ending, where after beating the Demon King and your daughter, rather than staying as a demon, for some unexplained reason you actually revert back to being human, and I'm assuming this is because the power that granted you these demonic powers extinguished with the death of the Demon King. But in the Archfiend ending, you are essentially fully transformed in a demon, not temporarily altered by these crystals. Goddamn monster! Give me back my daughter! And in the bad ending, one final tragedy plays out, where now being a normal human, you don't even realize, nor can you understand that your daughter here, and you assume she's just any other demon who's taken your daughter away, and in your rage, you yourself put her down. And that's Majyuō. But yeah, if you want to see a mostly unedited playthrough, this recording comes from my Twitch stream. Just stay tuned, that's coming up next. But I've wanted to do some more videos like this. I a lot of times don't have the time to do a more focused video. But there's a lot of games I really love, and with Twitch deleting their recordings and me trying to back up everything, that kind of gave me the idea, you know, I should finally go ahead and start doing a little bit of these different side kind of style videos. Focusing more on the specifics of certain games that I either grew up with or just really enjoy. So if you enjoyed this change of pace, definitely leave a comment. I appreciate the feedback. And if you're completely new to the channel, and this is your first video here, check out my usual playthroughs. You know, definitely stick around. There's a lot of good stuff around here. But yeah, that's it for my main commentary. Enjoy the long playthrough if you stick around, but aside from that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later, and take it easy.
By the time this is over, I'm gonna be like pro at these first stages. I mean, I was throwing that life away. I wasn't playing really seriously. Should make like a save state before I start every level. I bet this game doesn't have a password system. The wife dies as soon as you die in this game. She's basically a free on-the-spot continue that goes away forever. It lowers your theoretical damage potential, because she is a relatively helpful attacker. My thing is, how do you beat that one stage fast enough without running timeout? It's gotta be really tight. No, like, she's gone. It's just like an interesting lore-fitting Gale Jail 3 card. Oh, what? He died as he grabbed me. I guess I was still in range of the legs. It's not a big deal. There's like a health orb, I think, coming up. I could be wrong though, but it's not matter. I like how just like a pea shooter, this giant mass of flesh that's a giant worm gets taken down just by being shot in the mouth repeatedly. Youch. Of course, in the run we're trying to like maintain, we get some bad luck. We're gonna have to work to regain some health, because health carries on. So you always end up about 15,000. You were a little aggressive this time. Now, is it walk up to it or shoot it? Okay. So, like I said, the lasers have such a small hitbox that I was too close. So it wasn't activating the orb. So we're using the other character. I'm gonna see if it's a little bit easier for me or not. We gotta remember, we are on a timer, so we gotta get moving. Okay, right now we have 3 minutes on the clock. We should be pushed up to 4 if we kill this boss. Make a save state in case something horribly goes wrong again. Now we can do the centipede. Ugh.
Let's go into the garden. The roll is quite a bit faster than the teleport, that's one thing. I'm not sure if it has the invincibility frames. Thank you, Wyatt, for killing the centipede very slowly. Okay. We're at the 3-minute mark. That's real bad right there. That's real bad. I gained some health. Still doable. And we need to eat and get the health down below. But we're running low on time, which I'm not comfortable with. Oh god, I thought I hit the spikes. Can't go for the health right now. Okay. We're in the boss. We've got 2 minutes to spare. Mostly a full health bar. Interesting enough, I can charge my attacks while I'm rolling. Come on, you bastard. I'm on a time limit here. I'll make this living hell for you. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go, you damn eyeball. Ow. I'm not even gonna worry about my health, like I am on the clock. I'm hoping I get more time if I kill this. Oh my god. Okay, we got more time. We can do this. You really want to do that attack, don't you? Oh, you went for the upper one. Right, because I was mid-jump. Oh, God. That didn't do much damage, though. I'm fine. Can this reach? It can? It's hard doing damage with this form. It's got more range, but... Oh, God. That one hurt. Woo-wee! Woo! Woo, look at that timer. Got me in a vice grip. Okay. Next level.
Ooh, a football giveaway. I didn't even know that was a thing for this. I just need to get past these Medusa heads. I just noticed this character doesn't have a downward attack. A lot of them have like a downward kick or something. This one doesn't have it. Man, let's when they learn. 6 foot versus 5'11" right there. That one piece of health that could have helped me a lot. If I was going for a no-death run. Kind of like very taunting. Got an extra wife. Ooh, I thought that was gonna send me into the pit. They're attacking that poor woman. Can't show that in a Nintendo game. It's fucking hilarious. Wasn't sure what I was doing there. I gained extra life, ironically. I was trying to jump on this, but then I thought, can I jump on this? And I wasn't sure. So I tried to recorrect and go back. I think I have to. Okay, I was right. Never mind, I was supposed to commit. I'm going to save state in case I crash horribly again. So I need to get for this part pretty clean. I get torn up here a lot, which really haunts me as I go for the rest of the level. Don't teleport into the spikes! God.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Well, I wouldn't employ that strategy against the boss. I think the aggressive strategy going for his head is still better. The patient strategy, I think, is a little too patient. As weird as that sounds. It guarantees, like, survival unless you get cocky or something. Which is very easy enough to do. It's gonna be weird. Yosh! Ah! Oh god. Finickiness. The timer is a fret. That's why I can't do the patient stout. It depends if the level ends at him or not. So if it doesn't end at him, then the timer still could be running. I'm gonna be in load trouble. Whew. This level really reminds me of Mega Man. Oh! No! It's just a matter of, knowing my patterns. With my wife dead, I just don't feel as motivated to, beat him. That's the problem. Because it feels like I brute forced my way through the level rather than perfecting it. Bugah! And that's a reset. God. These things really need to calm down. While the invincibility frames didn't activate. I think the snowballs like linger way too long for that to even like happen. Because I lose like half of a health bar every time for this area right here. Red guy would probably get here single-handedly with his spread shot, but we don't have red guys, so, you know, that's how it is. And then even if I get to the boss, I have to live with this health bar right here, which is a tricky thing. Chica! What?! Perfect Cell is a real strong form, but you gotta be perfect. Oh my god. He also likes to do the stride and the teleport, which is slower than the other forms like dodge move. It does have like a slight invincibility frame when it activates, but it's so small that... Rocket kick!
don't think that's ever gonna help me. There's never been like one instance where I feel like the jump kick actually does anything of worth. Your hitbox is bigger than it seems. I'll say that. But the hitbox and the laser itself is pinpoint perfect. I'm just gonna Chad stride it to the end. Oh my god. I need to jump far enough away. I was wondering if I could... Okay. I'm trying to debate if I can walk out of its range. That timer is really running low. Whoo-wee! Lost my wife, though. I think we lost 1 life or 2 lives. No, because we used my wife. As bad as that sounds. We'll go wifeless. We're also going to the next level with like almost no health. Save state in case I crash again. And I don't think we get another wife. I think you just get the 1 extra on the train because it's... I think that was just a damage race. He's kind of a mini-boss. Really annoying one, too. Yeah, that was the best bet. You can finesse it, but I feel like you don't have time to. Oh, there is an extra wife. Thank God. Whew. Youch. It's one. These bosses have like Toho rules where you're supposed to like launch a shot in a way where it's away from you. I was told I could eat it in time to get the invincibility frames from that, but it didn't work out. Sadly. What was that, Domokun? Oh, no, I want the health. Oh, screw that. Oh, I think it reflects something. I had some kind of gimmick I didn't notice. Another dragon. It hurts like hell. Creates explosion too. Oh, it caught me in the rear end. Might be my last wife for the game. Key? What do I do? I backtrack with the key or something? Maybe Metroid? Really? Take that. Yeah, no, I'm right. I thought something was chasing me. Well, just screw it, just go. Come on. Whew! We got the ultimate demon form. No wife. So we got 2 lives. Capcom boss rush. Meteor kick! Excuse me, I need this. I'm not sure how effective the super attack is. But his attacks are really killing the frame rate, I'll tell you this. The emulation is so accurate that the frame rate... It's accurately emulating the bad parts of frame rate. Okay. Need some health. What? Destroyed him. Come on. Let's put someone out. That did more damage than good. Okay, so we're still flowing at about half health. I'll make a save state, why not? I mean, I'm not even sure what this character does, but I just blew him up, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, we're flying about a half of a health bar almost. It's about what the starting health is if you like game over. The homing attack doesn't do much. The green does do a lot. I still think the Centipede boss is one of the hardest bosses in the game. Without the upgrades. Centipede is pretty swole. Once you like take out the horns, it literally can't do anything to you. The boss after this is kind of like... Christ, the super attack wiped it out. Yeah, we don't want to be hit by that. The homing attack, you just gotta be far away. Oh. Dang, you followed me up on that? It was like a fighting game. Holy crap! Doeda! You now realize they merged the daughter with the cat. In the alternate ending, you turn back into a human, and you blow her brains out with your pistol, saying, "Give me back my daughter, you monster." And then you realize you were the demons. Essentially. There's also ultimate forms of all the default fusions. So it goes like, if you keep upgrading to the same form, you get a super form of it. And then if you mix and match the wrong way, you get like no good form, and you just skimp yourself. I'm not sure if the ultimate forms can get the good ending, but I think the good ending is exclusive to the ultimate demon form. And there is no difference if you save the wife in the end, because you're not technically saving her, she's already dead. It's just like a boon, because it increases your damage just by having her there.